What is up, gamers? It's time for patch 10.14 notes. Authors Shoi Shouju and Momcat. I really like what they've done with this new preview image. Remember the old one? The old one sucked, and now they have at least a bit of clarification on why they're doing changes that they're doing. I'm in the skilled category. I'm not in the average category, okay? So, again, my opinion is extremely valid. Looks like a smaller patch. I feel like they needed to address the changes to Conqueror because they didn't really reduce the power of any character that used it. In my opinion, it felt the exact same. But yeah, this looks smaller. I don't think that these Pike nerfs are really nerfs. I think that they're actually make him stronger. I'll address that a little bit later. Alistar Q, cooldown reduced by 2 seconds at all ranks. Sure, that's cool. Ezreal's E is now 3 seconds longer at all ranks. That's also good. Ezreal, undeniably the safest AD carry in the game because you get flash on like a 5-second cooldown. You build 40% CDR on the character anyway, so yeah, makes sense. Karthus, these changes are supposed to increase his play rate in the mid lane and reduce him in the jungle. Like, the reason why jungle Karthus is good is because you just get to farm and ult, right? Which is what you want to do on Karthus. You just want to scale up, kill some creeps, get a bunch of gold. And being mid is a bad place to do that because you're a squishy guy that can die. If you're just doing some PvE content, you're not going to die. So I don't think that people want to play him mid. Increasing his health by 25 and giving him 10 movement speed. Like, the move speed bonus is actually really nice. People always meme about, like, oh, the 5 movement speed, ha ha ha. 5 movement speed is actually pretty important. Like, I don't know what the gold value is. What are boots? Boots of speed. League of Legends. Boots are 25 flat, so it's 60 gold over 5, right? So 1/5 of each of these is 60 gold. So it's 60 gold of stats, which is not nothing, and you get it at the beginning of the game, so why not? Damage reduction to monsters, 15% reduced. Okay, so this is just like an overall nerf because giving him additional like 5 damage on this, the scaling's up by 5%, but 5 flat really is not that important, and laning him with 25 extra HP, like, you're still gonna get owned. Karthus is super easy to kill, so just a general nerf, it's fine. Karthus is very annoying because you get into those situations where you're like, oh no, they have a Karthus on their team. I guess we have to win the game because if we don't, then we're going to have late game team fights where we just are actually at 40% HP before we can even do anything. So, Khazix, isolated target bonus damage up by 20%. Holy shit, this character is going to be nuts. So, this character is already really good, right? I feel like Khazix is already pretty strong. Maybe he's not. If you're good at him, I feel like you're still doing pretty good. He's over 50% and his pick rate is 31. He falls off late, which is fine because that's what assassins should do. I don't know why you gotta buff him, dudes. He's looking like he's doing pretty good, and people play him. Hey, you know who else doesn't do very good? They just addressed the Riven, but my boy GP, dude. GP is suffering. He's suffering on the Rift. You must give him a hand. You must give him fixing. Where did they say that they gave him a buff? Right here, and then his rate went down. Dude, epic buffing. Whatever. Anyway, bonus 20% damage is actually really good, so I'd expect that to increase this guy's win rate by at least a fair amount. Magic resist growth by not a considerable amount. Armor growth by more. The mana cost of this got reduced. The cooldown got reduced. The damage got increased. Which is like, okay, cool. Cool nerf, dude. That's a really cool nerf that you've done to him. Giving him more damage and a lower cooldown. Wow, very cool. Bonus move speed reduced by 20% at max rank, but it's now 40% at all ranks. Who really cares? Bonus damage up on the E, which has the same cooldown. So what did they do to him? They gave him a little bit less armor. They gave him a little bit less MR. And they decreased his Q cooldown, decreased its cost, gave it more damage, and increased the damage on E. And then the 20% reduced movement speed on the W. But like, dude, this'll make his roams a little bit worse, but you max W last. So you were going to be at 40% for your first 13 levels of the game. I don't understand why this is a change that's going to nerf him at all. My issue with Pyke is that the character is... he has a degenerate playstyle, meaning like he bypasses what traditionally would make you a good player at League of Legends, like wave management, understanding positioning in the mid lane. Like I'm specifically speaking to Pyke mid, because what you do on Pyke mid is you buy Tiamat, you force wave clear, and then you run bottom, which like has... you're bypassing lane by doing that. Top laners, if you buy Tiamat and just push and back, at least you don't have a super duper engage, a super duper, like, you're invisible, you get 40% move speed bonus, and you have an execute, like, a decent ranged execute. That's pretty good, because if you just shove mid and bot lanes at, like, 80% HP, which they should be, if they're not at full health, you just go engage on them and kill them. Which is why it's not uncommon for you to see a Pyke who has like 70 farm at 20 minutes and 13 kills. You know, that's... oh, he's just doing an alternative playstyle to the game. That alternative playstyle shouldn't be that good, right? Supports just in general are crazy, and Pyke is one of the craziest of all the supports. Riven's getting an extra 5% to 10% bonus damage on her passive, which is actually really nice. It's pretty good. We're bringing back her edge by buffing more damage-focused Riven builds. Think Essence Reaver, Yumu's, Bloodthirster, over the current tankier meta ones like Cleaver, Death Stance. Okay, so... you're probably still going to do Cleaver first. You're probably not going to be changing your build over 5% bonus damage on the passive. You're just going to be doing 5% bonus damage with the tankier build. But this is nice. People complain about Riven, but the Riven is really nothing compared to Wukong or Darius or Garen. Like, even Garen is so much easier to play than Riven. And he does more damage. So, if you're mad about getting stomped by a Riven who's like actually a skill-intensive character who you can punish, she gets blown up if she's in the middle. Oh, but she gets a big shield every 8 seconds. Dog, at least she doesn't just have a billion health like Darius or Garen or Wukong. Anyway. Riven's from a different time. She was from when her kind of character was strong. But then now, hey dude, if you just want to stomp top lane, learn how to play Darius. Learn how to play Jax. Like this is nothing. Hey, also by the way, hey, thank you for 4,500 subs. Most of you are probably giant nerds, which is a big problem for me making these League of Legends videos. I want Linux and I want hacking tutorials. Sorry, dude. I like video games. Bonus damage on Sejuani up by 15 here. Frost cooldown. Stunned enemy champions cannot gain Frost for 8 seconds. And this used to be stunned enemy champions cannot gain Frost for 10, 9, 8 seconds. So it's 8 seconds at all levels from 10, 9, 8 with breakpoints at 1, 7, 14. Okay. Another Trundle nerf, huh? Attack bonus from 30 scaling to 100 to 20 scaling to 100. These are nicer, flatter numbers, but I don't think they needed to nerf him again. I feel like the character was probably in a good spot. Maybe I'm wrong. Trundle. Yeah, I feel like there are bigger targets than Trundle. Why are they mad about Trundle, right? Like, they nerfed him and he went from 2 to 19. What? Don't you care about Graves or Nunu? Like, these characters are fucking nuts. Like, why nerf Trundle when this character exists, right? I don't understand. Whatever. Varus, is this a nerf again? Okay, they're nerfing the bonus damage on E. Maximum bonus damage ratio 150% to scaling to 145, depending on rank, I guess. Minimum damage is always 66%. Okay, whatever. Targeting his early poke to make him less effective at bullying his peers out of lane. Cool. VB, yo, that's a giant change. No, not really. Reduced to 50%. Reduced by 50% on minions and monsters. So that means that his jungle is less healthy now. That's cool. Wukong, the knockup got decreased by a tiny, tiny amount. That's not gonna make him unbearable. They gotta do some tuning to this character. And Zed got a missile speed increase and the cooldown got decreased by 2 seconds, which is nice. I think the cooldown is nice. The missile speed, I don't know how this really feels, but probably pretty good. Zed, I think, has been underperforming a lot. Like, he's not even that good, especially compared to his peers, right? Like, Nocturne can one-shot people easier than Zed. He's, at 48.9. Kiana has a 3% win rate lead over him. They're just... Dude, this game is so fucking busted for a lot of characters. Like, I don't know how Talon can go untouched for so long. This character's insane. Actually, Talon has a similar playstyle to Pyke, but he doesn't have a fucking point-and-click execute, so he's less annoying in my opinion. They changed Predator and Ghost again. Damage growth up by 10 flat, scaling to 30 extra. Okay, cooldown decreased from again to 10 seconds less at all ranks. Okay. I feel like this wasn't bad. I don't think they needed to buff it again with the double buff. Like, just do the damage growth and see how that is. And then they brought Ghost back up because I addressed this in my original video where I talked about the Ghost changes. They reduced the movement speed on it, so it actually lost a bit of its utility for going in. So they buffed it in one way and nerfed it in another, which I don't think was a great idea. But now they brought it back in line with an extra 4 to 8% bonus move speed. So this is another buff for a couple top laners. We're talking about Singe. You know, Singe should go up to about a 54% win rate, and then they'll say, "Oh, maybe we should nerf Singe." And Tryndamere, who else takes it? You can take it on Darius, so they're buffing like a bunch of ultra annoying, super strong top laners. I guess that their intention is for junglers to take it, but this is like... That's a really short cooldown, man. I guess you have to take Predator as your primary, though, so... It's not as good. Eh. I don't really like this patch. I feel like these two changes here don't really make a lot of sense because you're buffing a bunch of characters that are already ultra strong. You know, it is what it is. And then the rest of this is a bunch of bug fixes, some skins. A couple cute ones, like the Zoe skin. Oh! Infernal Karthus looks cool. Kennen's got a weird face. I don't know what's wrong with him. And I feel like this Vel'Koz skin looks kind of weird too. I know what they were going for with the Eye of Sauron or whatever, but I think it doesn't really look that cool. The Kog'Maw one looks sweet. Anyway, yeah, that's that. Catch you next time.